Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Grace Harper, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a deeply important topic that touches millions of lives here in the US: early signs of Alzheimer's disease. This isn't just a medical issue, it's a human one. It affects families, friendships, futures. Did you know that, for the first time, over 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are now living with Alzheimer's Association? It's a wake-up call. Even more encouraging, a recent survey shows about 79% of Americans would want to know if they're heading toward Alzheimer's before life is impacted, and 92% say they take medication to slow it down. That tells us something powerful. People want knowledge, they want early detection, they want options. And they're right, because spotting Alzheimer's early isn't just about awareness. It means access to treatments that can slow progression, time to plan, and time to lean on loved ones. Alzheimer's Association, plus 1alzjournals.online, library.wiley.com, plus 1. In this video, tailored for anyone 25 to 65, plus who wants to stay informed and proactive, we'll walk through 12 early warning signs of Alzheimer's. For each one, I'll give real-life examples you can easily relate to, explain how it works in the brain, and offer steps you can take today. Whether you're watching for yourself or someone you care about, this isn't about fear. It's about empowerment, about choosing hope and action. So sit back, take notes, and let's begin this journey together. Let's start with something many of us brush off as just aging. But let's be clear, chronic forgetfulness, especially when it begins to interfere with your day-to-day life, can be a red flag. Maybe you're forgetting important appointments, or perhaps you ask the same question several minutes later. You might rely heavily on sticky notes, planners, or even family members to remind you of things you used to handle easily. That's a sign that memory isn't just slipping, it's taking over your independence. According to the Alzheimer's Association, examples like this: forgetting recently learned info, repeatedly asking the same question, or depending heavily on memory tools, fall into the early warning signs of Alzheimer's very well health. Plus 1 Alzheimer Society of Canada, plus 1. Why it matters: Alzheimer's attacks the hippocampus, your brain's memory hub, early on. When short-term memory fails, it's not just a minor hiccup. It's the first domino in a cascade of cognitive loss. What you can do today: notice any patterns. Are you forgetting more often than your peers? Start jotting it down so you can discuss specifics with your doctor. If these lapses happen more than once in a while and disrupt your routine, don't wait to seek advice. Next, think about your to-do list: paying bills, cooking dinner, planning a trip. These tasks require planning, attention, and a bit of mental calculation. Trouble here may be more than just being busy. Have you struggled to follow a recipe you've made for years, or paid a bill late because the math overwhelmed you? According to early stage signs from Alzheimer's.org, this kind of issue, difficulty concentrating, managing finances, following steps, is a red flag. Research backs this up. Studies show that problems paying bills are among the most frequently cited red flags in early dementia. PMC, plus 15 PMC, plus 15 Alzheimer's.gov, plus 15. The brain's executive functions, planning, organizing, problem solving, are at the root of this difficulty. Real life story. Imagine a mom who's always managed household tasks, like balancing checkbooks and cooking. Suddenly, she forgets bill due dates or misreads a simple recipe. That isn't normal. It's a signal that something more serious could be unfolding. What to do? If you've struggled more than once recently, ask yourself, is this normal stress or is it recurring and disruptive? Jot down a few examples and bring them to your next doctor or primary care appointment. Early intervention can slow decline. This one hits home. Tasks you've done your whole life suddenly feel foreign. Picture yourself driving to work, but finding you're unsure how to get to a familiar destination, or puzzling over how to write an important email. Maybe you're struggling with your smartphone when you didn't need help before. According to the Alzheimer's Association, difficulty with routine activities, like household chores, driving, or favorite games, is a recognized early sign. New York Post +2 ALZ's Journals .onlinelibrary.wiley.com +2 Verywell Health +2 Wikipedia +8 Alzheimer's Association +8 Verywell Health +8. Even the National Institute on Aging emphasizes that taking noticeably longer to complete familiar daily tasks and requiring help to finish them is a serious concern. Wikipedia +8 National Institute on Aging +8 PMC +8. Why it's happening. When Alzheimer's affects the temporal and parietal lobes, it disrupts the brain's ability to sequence steps and coordinate multiple actions. Suddenly, a routine that was once second nature may feel overwhelming. What to do if you or someone you care for are regularly having to ask, how did I do this before? Take note, write down specific instances and how much extra time or effort it took. Don't be afraid to seek an assessment. Identifying these changes early can open the door to effective interventions. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? That's normal, but confusion around time, forgetting the date, month, season, or even getting lost while driving somewhere you know well, that's not aging, it's Alzheimer's. The Alzheimer's Association cites losing track of dates, seasons, or where you are as one of the classic early red flags. Alzheimer's Association +1 Memorial Hermann +1. Meanwhile, the National Institute on Aging confirms that not being able to remember the current season or location is one strong signal. Real-life example. Imagine being invited to a July barbecue but packing a sweater as if it were October, or pulling up to your driveway but feeling entirely unsure how you got there. These small but consistent disorientations are far more than a forgetful moment. Next steps. If these experiences are frequent, especially compared to peers, it's wise to note them. Keep track of tricky moments. What happened, when, and how you responded. This record can guide a cognitive evaluation, helping doctors paint a more accurate picture. You drive? Pay attention. Misjudging steps, bumping into furniture, or struggling to read maps may be tiny warnings from your brain. According to expert sources, early Alzheimer's can impair visual spatial skills, your brain's ability to interpret the world visually and understand spatial relationships. Alzheimer's Association +2 Verywell Health +2 Butler.org +2. Signs include difficulty reading, trouble judging distances, or issues with balance. For many, this translates into a surprising number of close calls. Missing the curb while climbing stairs, brushing against door jambs, or hitting the side mirror because the driveway seems narrower than it is. Why it matters. The parietal lobes are involved in integrating visual and spatial information. When they begin to falter, routine activities suddenly feel unfamiliar and risky. What to do? If mounting furniture becomes a balancing act, or if you're locking the car more slowly, start paying attention. Keep track of what's happening and how often. These may be early signs, worth tracking before they put your safety at risk. Finally, in this group, struggling to find words. Maybe you pause mid-sentence, searching, or substitute a made-up phrase, like calling a watch a hand clock. That's a classic early sign. ARP.org, Alzheimer's Association. The Alzheimer's Association and Mayo Clinic note early trouble with vocab, stopping in conversation, repeating phrases, or struggling to name objects. Real-world moment. You're describing your child's painting or talking about your boss, but suddenly you freeze. The word just disappears. Then you reconstruct it oddly. Maybe you call refrigerator a cool food box. It sounds quirky, but it's more than quirky. Why it happens? Alzheimer's affects language centers in the left hemisphere, so the pathways for naming, speaking, or writing become less reliable. What to do? If this happens often, more than once a week, take note. Maybe even record brief exchanges. With permission, bring this with you to your health provider. These speech patterns aren't just frustrating, they're meaningful signals. Let's talk about one of the most startling early signs: when someone becomes suspicious or aggressive without any clear reason. Suddenly, mom becomes overly anxious when visitors come over, or dad accuses neighbors of stealing, or maybe they snap at family members for no apparent cause. This isn't just someone having a bad day. The Alzheimer's Association lists new distrust, irritability, or fear as early signals of dementia. Turn 0 search. And 90% of people with dementia experience mood or behavior symptoms at some point. Turn search. A recent article even described these changes as hidden behavioral signs that often get blamed on stress or burnout. Turn 0 News 16. What's happening in the brain? It's linked to damage in the frontal lobes, which regulate personality, impulse control, and trust. When that part is compromised, as noted by UCSF's Memory and Aging Center, a person may act out, become rude, or lash out. Turn 0. Search 0. Real-world scenario. Imagine an outgoing grandmother who once loved banter, but now scowls at grandchildren and hems you with suspicion. She might say, "Why are you hiding things from me?" It's not normal behavior. It's a cry for help, submerged in frustration and fear. What to do? If this happens more than a rare moment, note the pattern. When it started, how often, and what triggered it. Write it down. Then talk to a doctor, not to blame, but to understand. Early interventions, non-medical first, can help families adapt and reduce stress for all. Now, have you noticed someone repeating words or tasks, like pacing the hallway, refolding the same cloth, or washing their hands multiple times? This kind of compulsive or repetitive behavior, often dismissed as quirky, is another key sign. Turn News 16. Why does it happen? According to the NHS and Mayo Clinic, changes in brain circuits, especially in basal ganglia and frontal lobes, can trigger these urges. Turn 0 search 11. Turn 0 search 6. These rituals, once comforting, might suddenly take over. Daily life example. An uncle with Alzheimer's rearranges cutlery over and over. A neighbor no longer tucks their shirt in. They looped it 5 times already. It's not OCD. It's different. These behaviors emerge without purpose and often feel uncontrollable for the person. What to do? Don't punish or shame. Instead, document its frequency and context. Track how long it lasts and what seemed to spark it. You might say, "I noticed you've cleaned the table 4 times. Are you feeling jittery or uneasy?" Then bring your notes to a clinician. Behavioral therapies and small routine adjustments can make a surprising difference. Finally, apathy, a deeply misunderstood sign. Someone may no longer care about the ball game, stop asking about their grandkids, or just sit looking blank, not sad. It's a lack of feeling more than feeling sad. Behavioral researchers say apathy is one of the most common neuropsychiatric symptoms in early Alzheimer's, affecting 50 to 70% of patients. Turn zero search. Turn zero search. In many cases, it even predicts progression from mild decline to dementia. Turn zero search 7. What's the brain's role? Apathy often links to dysfunction in the posterior cingulate and temporal lobes, plus drops in neurotransmitters like dopamine. Turn zero search 7. It's not depression. It's a neurological disengagement. Real-world moment. A retired teacher who once volunteered weekly now watches TV all day. A cycling coach stops caring about training. Even when gently prompted, they might shrug and say, "I just don't want to." That's apathy, not laziness. What to do? Point out changes calmly and keep a weekly log. Who? What did they stop showing interest in? Then offer gentle invitations. Want to walk with me on Tuesday? If interest doesn't reignite, it's time to ask a professional. Non-drug therapies, like structured activities, music therapy, or light exercise, can help, especially if started early. Turn zero, search 0. Turn zero, search 3. Today, we've walked through all 12 early warning signs of Alzheimer's, grouped into 4 key areas: memory and cognitive skills, frequent forgetfulness, trouble planning, and difficulty completing routine tasks, time, space and language, losing track of time or place, misjudging spatial relationships, and struggling to find words, behavior and decision-making, misplacing items, making poor financial decisions, and social withdrawal, mood, emotions, and unusual behaviors, suspiciousness or aggression, repetitive actions, and emotional flatness or apathy. These aren't just isolated glitches. They're signals from your brain telling you something needs attention. Document what you notice. Keep a simple journal. What happened, when, how often. Concrete details help your doctor recognize patterns. Talk to a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis unlocks options. People who receive it choose medication, counseling, and plan ahead. A recent Alzheimer's Association report found 92% of Americans would opt for treatment to slow progression, and 83% would join clinical trials if diagnosed. Turn zero search. Ask for cognitive screening or referrals. Simple memory tests, blood pressure checks, or even brain scans can be useful. Turn zero search. Turn zero search. ESG. Research shows matching 4 to 5 healthy habits like exercise, diet, brain stimulation, and blood pressure control reduces Alzheimer's risk by up to 60%. Turn zero search 2. Take these steps. Aim for 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week, walking, swimming, or cycling. Turn search 12. Embrace a Mediterranean or DASH-based diet, like the MIND diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, fish, and healthy fats. Turn search 28. Control blood pressure. High BP is a major risk factor. Manage it with diet, low sodium, weight control, and exercise. Turn search 32. Keep your mind sharp. Read, learn new skills, play games, and stay socially connected. Turn zero search 29. Turn zero search 6. If you recognize any of these signs in yourself or a loved one, don't panic, but don't ignore them either. Early awareness allows us to preserve independence and choices, protect family bonds through open conversations, take meaningful steps now, not later. Turn zero search 9. Turn zero search 18. You're not alone. Families across America are doing this together with courage, determination, and love. Like, share, and subscribe. to stay connected to more health-empowering content. Visit the Alzheimer's Association website, link in the description, for guides, support groups, and resources. Leave a comment. What surprised you most? Have you seen any of these signs in your life? Let's support each other in this conversation. Thank you for watching, and remember, knowledge brings power, connection brings hope, and early steps make all the difference. See you in the next video.